Welcome back to Actually So Crying. Just kidding. I'm not gonna cry in this video, okay? We're just not gonna do that. Guess what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna cry. Hey, bro. Welcome back to my channel. I'm actually so ugly, and today, you know when the world is just like,
hey, at Nicholas.
Everything that keeps happening is just like shots fired. I have literally beat around the bush. I have tiptoed in the garden. I have avoided this topic like the plague. Oh my god, is that a wild goose? I have alluded in the past to eating and like body issues and whatever, okay? This was never something I was ever gonna talk about. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like move everything because my dog is trying to eat everything. I wanted to maybe make something one day when I felt like I got over it. And I wish that was the case, that I'm like making this video on like how I got better. However, I've gotten like so many messages in the last couple weeks just about body issues and people's advice, like not about me. People don't really know the depth of what was going on. My family doesn't know. My best friend who helped me through it doesn't even really know. Yesterday, I called my friend Faith. I was like, I just need to talk to you about it so that I don't come on here and I like have a mental breakdown. This will be my first time addressing this, and I actually don't want my first time addressing it to be on camera because I want to have like more organized thoughts, even though like that's impossible for me. I actually don't feel like I'm gonna cry. Now, you know what? Who knows? I've been doing a lot of TikTok lives lately, and I get a lot of people who ask like my advice on body issues. I get it. Like, I get it, universe. Like, you can stop like direct messaging me now. Like, get out of my DMs. I get it. I'm making the video, relax. Oh, this is so awkward. You're gonna see pictures where I go, I looked bad, and you're gonna be like, what? I actually don't know how far this goes back, but I'm just gonna go from what I remember. I just wish you wouldn't bite me like while I'm trying to tell the story. Like, I'm trying to like help people, like you're just like biting me. Thank you for bringing some comedic relief to this. It's hard because I was really young. Like, I don't remember like specific situations that much, but I do remember like the time frame. Get your paw off the table. I remember being in the 4th grade because I remember who my teacher was at the time. I would wake up early and do push-ups and like sit-ups, and I would do them before I would go to bed. My brothers dealt with the same thing. Is like, we were all so small. People would say to us like, oh, you're so small, you need to eat more. You're so small, you need to do some push-ups. You know what I mean? So like I would, and I was like in the 4th grade. Like, we were so short that we went on growth hormones as kids to try to like grow, and so that's like another thing that makes me feel like my like size was wrong or like a problem. As early as I can remember having issues being shirtless in front of people, I have just always been uncomfortable, and still to this day am uncomfortable being shirtless in front of people. People will say like, but you post half naked photos online. Yeah, that I can see and I can edit. Like, I never had eating problems as a kid. Like, that wasn't a thing. Really wanted to gain muscle. I just wanted to be more fit so bad because I was constantly told how skinny I was and how much I needed muscles. Having body issues doesn't mean you have an eating disorder. I understand body dysmorphia literally sounds so intense. It sounds so aggressive to be like, I have body dysmorphia. That sounds literally wild. I think I have body issues, and eventually as an adult, eating became one of the like control outlets. But I don't want to say I had an eating disorder my whole life because I didn't. When I went into high school, I would wake up early and I would purposely like do push-ups and stuff right before I went to school, because after you like do push-ups, your muscles are swollen, and I just wanted to appear like I was bigger so that I wasn't so small. And I think going to the school I went to really played a part as well. It was like predominantly like an Italian school where all the boys played sports and everyone was like big, and I know I was in a class with kids who even were like on steroids and that kind of stuff. I do think if I went to a school with a different demographic, I don't know that I would have felt so intense, but again, I don't know. I definitely don't want this to come off as like a, oh my god, you're so skinny, no one feels bad for you thing. When someone says that to you, like, I don't feel bad for you, you're so skinny, what a problem to have, like, shut up. Shut up. Just like, shut up. Like, guess what you could do? Shut up. This like part of this whole thing is I look back on like family vacations we took, and to this day I look back and I'm gonna be uncomfortable putting them in this video because I don't think I looked good. I didn't think I was fat. I didn't think I was skinny. I thought I was like not fit. And a lot of people feel this way, is they don't think they're fat, they don't think they're skinny, they just don't feel like they're fit and they don't like the way they look. I don't like those photos, and I purposely don't post those photos because I don't think I looked good in them, which is weird because I'm literally like gonna be 29. And a lot of people would ask me questions like, oh, did you have a lot of friends in high school? And I lie. Like, not lie, I just don't tell the full truth. And there's a lot of times in this video you're gonna see me do that. I didn't have a lot of friends in high school because I chose not to socially really interact with a lot of people because I was afraid to be invited to things. My worst fear is going to a pool party. Still, I am terrified to go to places where I have to take my shirt off. So I had this fear of like making friends and going places where I would have to be shirtless. And I would tell people like, oh yeah, no, I just wanted to get in and get out. Like high school was stupid, I didn't care. Very true. I knew I was gonna move away one day and I wasn't gonna have the friends that I made in high school, so I didn't really care. However, the big underlying reason for not going to things was I didn't want to take my shirt off. And I had done a couple of shows in high school, like dance shows, and all I would hear was, oh my god, you're so skinny, you're so skinny, you're too skinny, like, oh my god, like you're so small. And that just like did not make me want to go anywhere ever. My relationship with dance is actually what started to make everything go like downhill. Before, I just knew I didn't feel comfortable with my body, but I never really like hated the way I looked. I'm gonna talk about specific situations moving forward that involve people. I'm not gonna name them, obviously. And if you are watching, like, I don't want you to think that like you caused these things to happen. And I have moved on with these people. I had these issues as a kid and you were just like another outlet or another human to give life to this. I started dancing like when I was 16 and 17. That was when I was like first introduced to like control. Like the idea that I could control myself. This sounds bad and I'm not trying to say this how it sounds, but I got really good really fast. And I got a lot of compliments and a lot of praise and a lot of opportunities really fast. I basically stopped caring about school and I put 120 million% of my effort into dance. I was like failing in school because I was obsessed with changing my body. Like, I knew that I could have a nicer foot like a ballet dancer and I could have like hyperextended legs and all of these things by like essentially tearing things, like deteriorating the like cartilage in my meniscus or whatever, and all of these things that would like later lead to me getting tendonitis like throughout my whole lower body. But I didn't care and I was doing things and I was in so much pain, but I wanted to be like the best. I've had this complex my entire life of, if you're not going to be the best at it, don't do it. I don't want to say like, yeah, I got good really fast. Like, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying I was so obsessed that I worked like crazy to be perfect. My view on my body changed from, oh, I need muscle and I'm too skinny, to how can I have 0% body fat? I never emulated a male ballet dancer. I didn't want that body type, and I don't want this to sound rude either. I'm just being honest with how I felt. Really, really big legs and a wide torso, and they're really built. My dance teacher, one of them, was scarily thin. I wanted to look like her. I wanted to be everything that she was, because to me, I saw her as perfect. Like, I saw her like 6 days a week. I wanted to be her. I started to then not go through eating issues, but I definitely was more conscious of what I was eating and more conscious of like how I was reacting to food. I also never wanted anyone to know this. So I went up until like a couple years ago doing my best to hide. I used to research like documentaries and all these things on how people hide their body issues. So I ended up trying my hardest to help this girl who was going through the same thing. I didn't want her to know that I was going through it. Even if she felt a tenth of the like unhappiness that I felt, I didn't want her to feel like that. So I would do things like I would take her to eat all the time and I would try to be around her and I would try to manage it, and I was doing my best because I knew we emulated the same person. I'm not saying that the things I was doing to get hyperextension and like those things to my body were like bad for my body. I was 16, 17, and 18 doing these things to my body. I wasn't doing like, okay, 10 minutes of this, 10 minutes of this. I was doing like in hours. And I tell my kids now when they say like, oh, what should I do? I know what will change your body, but I tell them the right amount of time and the right amount of things. I just want to say that like the things I was doing was not wrong. It was the amount of time I was doing it. So like 2 years after I started dancing, I moved to Toronto. Now things, I'm gonna start to get into a relationship I was in. And if you, sir, are watching this, I have no negative feelings towards you at all. I just have to like share things, and I think it's my responsibility to share how these relationships affected the way I viewed myself. I dated somebody who was newly out. They couldn't authentically be themselves, and it was at a time when I was really like more flamboyant and all that stuff. I think I was who he was trying to be, and he couldn't be that. So what he ended up doing was just like like tearing that down. And so I don't blame him. He is authentically himself, and you can see that. Him now was who was trying to get out of him, and he felt like he couldn't do that, and because I was doing that, like he tried, you know, does that make sense? So I am so proud that he can actually be who he was dying to be at that time. I'm sorry if you're watching this and that you have to like relive this situation, but I'm not gonna name you. Obviously, don't worry about it. I was doing this dance show where I was a very flamboyant character. I remember like being so excited. I would come home from these rehearsals and then we would talk, and it was just about how like that kind of dancing was like disgusting and embarrassing. I felt like every time I was like at a high, I was just taken to a low. I felt like I couldn't ever be right. Like there'd be situations where, oh, I'm so uncomfortable right now telling this story. If we would talk to their family or we would talk to friends and stuff like that, it's like, I felt like no matter what I said, I couldn't say the right thing. And I'm not saying that I was perfect or anything, trust me. My hair was like to here-ish, and I wanted so badly to grow it out, and I would constantly say like, oh my god, I want to grow my hair out, and every time it was just like, no, like that will be gross. I was like figuring out who I was and developing my personality more because I just moved away, and no matter what I wanted to do, I just felt like I couldn't do it right. And I dated other people, but like this was my first serious boyfriend, I would say. I really put all of my self-value in that person because I really didn't have a lot to begin with. And like aside from him, like I had dated people who were not very physically nice to me in a relationship and stuff like that. But when I look back at how I felt about myself and how I put my self-worth like in other people's views of me, I get why I dated the people I did. Looking back, I wish I could just be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, stop it, get out of this. And like, I'm not gonna talk about those relationships. That's like a whole other situation. I just wish I could have made the choice to get out of those relationships before things got bad. So we broke up. I knew that I couldn't get on a flight to go see this person because if I did, we would still be in this like cycle, and I didn't want to feel this way anymore. I felt like I couldn't gain control in like the entire time that we were together, so me not getting on that flight was like my first taste at control in such a long time. After we broke up, I definitely like rebelled, you know. Oh my god. My personality just turned into this like, I look back and I can't even believe, I just wanted to be so controversial, and I wanted so much attention, and I wanted to be so loud. Okay, it's groaning. Like I felt like if I came out and I was this cocky human being with like this loud personality, that people would just not really realize what was going on with me. And it worked. Like no one knew. That's when my issues with food like actually began. And when I was in school, I was like working out like crazy because I was at like a dance school, and then I would like go to the gym when I would go home as well, and like I would teach at night, and so I never really saw my roommates except for at night. I made a point to like eat in front of them, and like once a week we would go to Wendy's, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this. For my roommates I was living with, they don't know this, but I would go to Wendy's and we would eat everything. I would come home, they would go to bed, and I would throw it up. Now, I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah. And this went on for a very, very, very long time. Another lie that I tell is I get compliments on my teeth a lot, which genuinely confuses me because my actual biggest insecurity, all looking at my teeth now, I already know. My biggest insecurity of like my whole life is my teeth. When I was little, I had braces, whatever, and then I had big teeth. They were so nice, so white, everything was perfect. And then when I started to get sick, obviously that changed. My teeth will never be white again. I've completely like corroded, I don't know what to say, the enamel off my teeth. Like when I go to the dentist, they're like, you have no enamel. I'm like, I know. And I make up a lie. Well, it's not a lie because like, okay, here's the thing. I'm super, super allergic to dairy, right? Like it's not like lactose intolerant. It's like my throat closes, I power puke. I just told everybody that, yeah, when I was younger, I would have dairy, and I told my parents this. Like when I was younger, I would have dairy and I would puke so much that like the stomach acid wore away at my enamel, which is the truth, but not because of dairy. It was because I was throwing up myself. Super fragile, so I have so many chipped teeth now. They're really small now too. I don't smile with teeth because like I don't want my gums to show and things like that, and so stop looking at my teeth, people, right now. Get out. But I was just on a TikTok live and someone was like, I love your teeth. And I just immediately, my default is to go to that excuse. And that's the thing about compliments too, is it's like, if I get a compliment, everybody always says like, just say thank you. Someone compliments me and I go, I know. I hate that I do that. But if I don't do that, what I'm actually gonna do is rattle off all the things that are wrong. And I think the reason I never even talked to my boyfriend about this is because of that reason. He compliments me so much. If he knew that that's what I felt when he would do that, I think he would feel bad, like he was hurting me if he did that. I started to do this dance show and I was drinking like 3 smoothies a day. Not even smoothies, I was drinking 2 smoothies and 1 like water. Work out in the morning, I would go to rehearsal for this dance show or I would be at school, then go home, work out again because I had a gym in my building. And I would constantly have my fridge stocked and stuff so my roommates would think that I was eating and I would just throw it out. I one night came home and I was on a bike, like the bike downstairs. I can still remember what it felt like. I like lost my hearing. Like it was like when you go up in a plane and your ears pop and everything went white. And so I was just like in a panic. I quickly like went upstairs and I blacked out. Unfortunately, that was like not a sign for me that what I was doing was wrong. I just was like, okay, well, obviously can't do the bike anymore. Let me do something else. And even while I was in school, we were doing things like Pilates, yoga, and like fitness classes. And I would tell my teachers like, oh, I hurt this, so like I can't do that one workout. I was so scared of gaining muscle. I even at one point was talking to a doctor, like, well, how can I get rid of this muscle? Like it was like to that point. And then this is where things started to go up. My best friend Matthew, he knew I knew so much about nutrition. Like I really like studied nutrition and what was good for your body and things like that, just so I would know what had the most fat, what would gain muscle. Like I needed to know everything. So he would ask me like, what should I eat for this? Like he would ask for himself. And then one day he just came over and he starts stocking my shelves. I can hear him. He's like, we're done. We're eating now. Okay, like this is not what we're doing. We're not doing this. Like I can hear him. From that moment on, we would spend 24 hours a day together, like 7 days a week. Like we would spend every waking hour together. And whether it was his motive or not, I think he just knew in his soul like what I needed. And I'm not crying. So we're just not crying. Just so you know, we're not. My obsession went from this like being skinny, being thin thing to like now being fit. And like, yes, that's definitely a better obsession to have and a healthier one, but it's still not super good. Like I wasn't necessarily better. So we did a show together. I'll put a picture. Like I was so strong. I had 0% body fat and like that was my goal. How can I be 0% body fat now? But like with muscle. It wasn't in like to be thin. I wanted to just be so strong. So now we're gonna talk about how I like gained self-confidence. I pretty much stopped dancing at this point. And I don't want to say that's what made me better, but I think it was a huge help. The thing about being in the dance industry and being in a dance studio is that the dance studio, you do have people who care for you, I hope, and you do have people who are watching over you. But when you're an adult in the dance world, like, I'm sorry to say, but like no one cares. I knew that I had to slowly stop dancing. And this is another lie. I told people that I quit dance because teaching fulfilled me more. And while that is very true, teaching kids fulfills me so much, but dancing for me was not positive. I would go on stage and while I was dancing, I would like, just in my head be like, well, I'm letting the choreographer down. I'm letting myself down because I don't think what I'm doing is good enough. And I also want to like disclaimer, I never thought I was bad. However, I have a vision of what I want to be, and because of my injuries and things that had happened, like I won't ever be that, so I would rather not do it. Yeah, I know that kind of sucks to hear, but I quit dance because I didn't think I was going to be good enough for myself. I started dating this person. How do I even talk about this person without literally wanting to smash my head off a wall? This was the first person to ever really like speak about my body and me as a human being without making me second guess it. I don't know, like it felt so genuine, and not that other people's weren't genuine. The way he did it, it just clicked with me. But like we would eat like Popeyes every day. That's when my Popeyes obsession had started. We were eating Caribbean food all the time, which is like chicken and rice and like bread and all that stuff. Like I was gaining weight super fast. I remember taking this picture that was like, oh my God, when you gain so much weight, like that you can't fit in your jeans or something like that. And at first I loved it because like he loved it. And I think the reason I believed him was because like I wasn't his type. Everybody that he had dated before me was like 600 feet tall. I'm literally like 5'4". Short blonde hair and like they're super, super, super like frail thin. I was just not that. I don't know what to say. Like I was just like so different for him, and he loved that. In the end, like he taught me to love that too, because I was not normal. Do you know what I mean? Like I was walking around with a purse and short shorts and an oversized shirt while I was always wearing clothes like this. This wasn't a new aesthetic that I had. This was always what I was doing and what I was wearing. He made that seem so normal. While so many people that I had dated would literally be like, can you like leave your purse in the car? And I'd be like, I'll leave you in the car. He would be like, no, bring your bag. People should see it. Like, you worked hard to buy that. Like, people should see it. Or he would be like, oh my God, take your hair down so people can see your hair. And like, he would sit me in front of the mirror. He would literally hold me in front of the mirror, except he was like this big. And he would be like, look how good you look. He didn't know about my body issues. I don't even think he would know unless he watched this video that I even had that. And so when we broke up, like, my confidence didn't die with that relationship. Like, it actually got better. When we broke up, I felt like I looked so good. Took hella body pics in that time. I just felt like so on. And I felt so confident with like my outfits and like everything I was doing, my whole being, I felt confident. There were so many relationships I was in. I would just be like beat down on what my personality was and what like my aesthetic, like what I was wearing was. And I think that's part of why I created my own clothing brand, is because this is how I dress. This is how I want to act. Look at my hair. Look at me. Like, I'm happy with what I look like. Even though I still have so many insecurities about the stuff I put out, but that's a personal artist thing. I am happy to share my aesthetic with the world, because for so long, I was told that the way I dressed and what I did was wrong. And you know what? I wish I could put the middle finger up in this video right now, because not to be cocky, but let's talk about my sales. Oh, I hate that I'm doing this. For all the people who literally like told me that I didn't like the shirt I was wearing, or to like wear different pants, or to like put my hair up or cut my hair and do all of that stuff. Look at my sales, okay? Anyway, I'm not trying to be cocky like that, but it's just, I'm very proud. We're not crying, so we're gonna move on now. Woo! I wish I could say that like, at the end of this, I'm all cured and I'm better and I don't have problems anymore. I hate that I still feel this way, because I went to a pool party last summer and I didn't know so many people were gonna go. And I think it helped that I had a couple drinks, so I felt a little more comfortable. I thought it was just gonna be like 1 or 2 people that I know, and then a lot of other people came and I was like really uncomfortable, and it's not that person's fault, like where I went. Again, it's like these situations are not the people involved's fault. Still, I know people are gonna look at me saying this and be like, no you don't, you're naked all over social media and you do all this stuff, and it's like, I'm controlling this. Do you know what I mean? My big confident personality for a very long time, or well, my cocky personality for a long time was a lie. Like, I don't fully feel 100% confident in myself. Now, I am a lifetime away from where I felt. I do not look at myself and I'm not disgusted. It really helps that like my boyfriend now is just so genuine in the way he feels about me. Someone asked on TikTok the other day, like, does your boyfriend spoil you? And I was like, yeah, but like not in the way you think. Like, I don't want gifts from him, okay? Well, I love a gift, but I don't want gifts from him. I always said from the time we started dating, I don't need to be with you, I want to be with you. I am not normal from where I live right now. I'm not normal at all from where he lives at all. Like, look at me. For those of you who know my personality, like, just to look at me, I don't know, but like, I am not a normal boy. And I think to be with me takes a very specific kind of person. I'm extremely controlling and I'm working on that, but I am extremely controlling. He knows that. The fact that I'm literally like, so yeah, you live in a different country, you're gonna move here, you're gonna be completely put into my life and everything that I want, it sounds so intimidating. I am somebody who loves to work. I'm a workaholic. So like, see you when I see you, like everything I want, I need to do. Like, I'm very controlling in the home of like, I cook every meal. I don't want him to cook. Not that I don't think he can, although there's been some times where he's really messed up. I want to cook everything. I want to get his things. I want to do everything. I want to clean. I want to make sure that everything is done the way I want to do it. But what I want from him and what I get from him is like complete acceptance and love. And like, he just gives me such like loyalty. And I still fight him when he says like, oh, you look so pretty. He tells me all the time, he goes, you're so pretty. And I'm like, shut up. But he tells me every single day. My control basically, yeah, it comes from like in the house, and then it also is like in my choreography. I hate winning choreography awards. I know that sounds so stupid. I hate it. I don't want that attention. I don't like when people tell me that it's like really good. I don't think it's bad. I in no way think my choreo is bad. When someone tells me that it's good, I immediately switch in my head, go, yeah, but like I could be doing this, or it could look like this, or I could do this. And again, it has nothing to do with the kids. Like, it's me. I'm so critical, but because my ADD just takes me in 30 different directions, every time I go into the studio, I'll literally look at it and change it because I'm not happy with it. I'll be like, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. So I'll make excuses to like change my choreo. It's literally the same like with my clothes. Like, my clothes were supposed to come out in September. I made so many excuses to not do it because I was just like, I never thought it was gonna be good enough. And that's like choreo. Never thought it was gonna be good enough. The body that I had was never gonna be good enough. No matter what happens, I just feel like what I have is not enough. What I want to say is, in the end, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work on how I navigate my not enough complex. When I do something that I feel like isn't enough, or I could have done more, I don't want to take that negatively anymore and be like, yeah, well, like, I just want to channel it and turn it into like a happier thought. Let me use that as motivation to always be doing more. And I think that's a big part of like my obsession problem. You know, the glass is half full or half empty. Like, I'm definitely a half empty person. This is just a lot of realizations for me right now. I'm probably forgetting things. A lot of people have been asking me for advice, and there's just so many situations where I know I've needed to make this video for a long time and I just never did. Do not message me being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, or oh my God, I love you, and give me all this love. Like, please do not do that. That is not what I want from this video. This isn't a cry for me video. I don't want you to feel bad for me. Like, so many people deal with this. I know so many people who are just like, yeah, like, I don't think I'm fat. I don't think I'm thin. I just don't think I'm fit. I think like everybody feels this way a little bit. Some people just feel it harder. I just don't want you to look at me and feel like you can't say things because you're gonna like trigger me. Don't worry, I'm good. I just felt like I was hiding this huge secret. Well, I mean, it was. No one knew really what really went on. And there's a lot more that are like really serious, but I'm not gonna get into those things. But what you can do is, you need advice on anything, or you want to just hear my opinion on something, like, ask me. I will totally answer. I will totally help. I will do whatever I can with the knowledge that I have from what I've been through. But I just don't want this to turn into like a pity Nick party. Like, that's just not what I want. It's like when I post a mean hate comment that someone wrote. Like, I don't want you to message me being like, oh my God, don't listen to them, I love you. Like, don't worry, I'm so good. Okay, I'm so good. Which is why I can kind of tell this story now. Anyway, this video is probably 67 years long. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. Please share your little stories with me. Please, 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 please. Subscribe to my channel. Click the button that says red. Of course, I don't have anything red. Again, you see this? You see this red, my mail app? Click the button that says red is my mail app. I put out new videos every Sunday at noon. There's a notification bell, and if you click it, it'll be like, hey, Nick posted a video, you should go watch it, okay? So just go watch it. My Instagram is @actuallysougly. You can go follow me there. I look hella good. My TikTok is also @actuallysougly. If you want to shop my clothing that I make, my Instagram for that is @theuglyaesthetics. My website is www.theuglyaesthetics.com. Anyway, yeah, so love you. Thank you. Goodbye now.